Glad to have you back on IBrand Daybreak. Now on to the topic of the day. The presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has announced Senator Kashim Shettima as his running mate in the 2023 general elections. He made the announcement on Sunday in Daura, the hometown of the President Muhammadu Buhari in Katsina State. According to the APC stalwart, Shettima was selected because the former Borno State governor is competent, capable, reliable, and able to be picked as a running mate. Now reacting to the development, the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, described Senator Kashim Shettima as a worthy choice of a running mate to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The minister, who aired his view on Twitter, described Shettima as a quintessential banker and economist, suave gentleman and politician who is intellectually fertile and economically sound. He further stated that the former Borno State governor is intergenerationally mobile. He is young yet experienced, fiercely loyal, phenomenal, complementary to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Joining us to make sense of this conversation, to get his reactions, we have Mazi Chinedum Obioha right here in the studio with us. Mazi, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Permit me to say Ndewo, sir.
Ndewo.
Good morning, Mazi.
Yeah, good morning, Samson. So how are you today? How was the weekend?
You were fine, thank you.
I was okay.
It was a terrible weekend. Between Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Because of the
Down
rain.
to Sunday because of the flood.
But thank God that it was a blessing to us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Martin, on to the topic of the day. We've seen the description of the former Borno State governor. Well, do you think he meets this description? In fact, Borno State has been the state that has been, will I use the word, submerged in terrorism and banditry in the last couple of years, and having to pick him as the running mate for, or having to be a running mate for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the coming presidential elections. Do you take that as a step in the right direction?
What I'm going to, thank you once again, what I'm going to express is my own personal view.
It's okay.
I don't think that he's supposed to be in the leadership circle of Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm not sure. That's my personal opinion because of his antecedent and things hanging on his neck. But you know, Bola Tinubu is a very smart guy. That was what happened during the presidential primaries, and he waited until APC, I mean PDP, other parties had their own before he came on board. Having said that, anyway. Shettima has not been good to Nigerians.
In what sense?
Despite the fact, hold on now,
okay.
let me talk.
Okay.
Okay.
Despite the fact that he was a governor for, I think, 8 years.
Yes.
He has so many issues. Remember, he was in PDP before, and it was a controversial PDP member who wanted to scuttle the PDP by trying to impose himself as a chairman. The matter, that would have been the end of PDP if Supreme Court had ruled in his favor. But thanks be to God that, I'm not speaking as a PDP man anyway. I'm speaking as a true Nigerian. So after that, he now decamped to APC. And remember, you know, human beings and memories are always short. But then, thank God for bringing them back to us. Remember, between 2013 2014, the issue of the Chibok girls. Remember, he was a governor then.
Yes.
Remember that the then Minister for Education, Wike,
yes,
now Governor Wike, wrote to him to suspend the WAEC at that particular time because of the security report available. He refused. What happened? The Chibok girls were adopted, and there were blames here and there. Then also remember that he was accused of being part of Boko Haram sponsors, and it has not cleared his name. This is a president that has so many but in his name. So for Bola Tinubu picking him, that's the height of insensitivity on the part of the Christians, which means he didn't take into consideration, Bola Tinubu didn't take into consideration that the Christians matters anyway. I'm not talking as a Christian. I'm talking about the true Nigerian.
Okay. You've touched on so many things. I would like to, you know, pick them one by one. But before we delve to the issue of Muslim tickets, which is what you just wrapped up with, I think you're mistaken. What you have is Ali Modu Sheriff, the former Borno State governor, who was Shettima's predecessor. He was the one who, you know, decamped from ANPP to PDP and wanted to be the chairman at all, by all means, yes. And that went to the court and all. That was Ali Modu Sheriff. The issue of being a sponsor as well for Boko Haram, Ali Modu Sheriff's name was the one that was also prominent. But
no, even Shetima was there. But was mentioned.
Yes, but
because do you know what happened? Like I have always said each time I come here.
Okay.
Borno State has a border with the other neighbors, other countries. And when you talk about closure of borders, there was never a time Borno borders were closed.
Yes.
Ilela, Bama, and all around that place. You can't close the borders. There has been influx of foreigners from that place. So it was out of Borno State that Yobe State was carved out. And I know that very, very well.
Yes.
So I don't think that was a good choice. But then, you know, politicians, they are very smart, very, very smart, because they want where they will have the massive vote. Picking him from the north-south means that he might gather the whole vote from the
northeast.
Northeast.
But you have Atiku, who is also from the northeast.
Don't bother about yourself. You see, Atiku, the Northerners, they know what they are doing.
Okay.
You see, you can never outsmart them. You can never outsmart them in terms of politicking, because they know that it is they see it as a right. Just like Bola Tinubu said that it is his own turn. Yeah, but he said it.
Okay.
So the Northerners believe that leadership and rulership is their birthright. So don't forget that. Even I read this morning that even Kwankwaso said that he's now, if he doesn't make it, he's considered the person he's going to pitch that with. So back to what we are discussing. If actually we want to move this country forward, these people that I've always described as the ones that trouble Israel shouldn't near the corridor of power in Nigeria, because they have not done anything to you and I, especially the youths. For those of us who are going closer to our graves, you, our children, need to move forward. But do you have the platform to move forward? The answer is no. So you see that they are circling the same people, meaning that it's only themselves that have the audacity to be in leadership. What about the youth? Bola Tinubu, his health is not funny. Shetima has some skeleton in his cupboard.
But he's young.
Well,
he'll be 56 by September.
Let me tell you, he has been a governor of that place, right? We are looking for people who have credible, I mean, yes, who have a good report, but right? But these people have skeleton in their cupboard. With Nigerians are saying, not me now, right? Nigerians are saying that we need clean people.
During Shettima's tenure as, you know, the Borno State governor, there was unprecedented, you know, infrastructural developments in that state, despite the attacks by Boko Haram.
Do you know, I was
Zulum has built on that
I was in Maiduguri.
Yes.
I spent some time in Maiduguri, right? Even the federal government has built massive infrastructure development there. So don't forget about it. We are talking about moving this country forward. This set of people are not the one that will take us to the promised land.
Okay, now, I mean, just before, I know Margaret is also itching to, you know, ask a few questions, but just before then, the gross you have with picking Shettima as the running mates, is it just, you know, on the basis of the allegation of being linked with Boko Haram, or, you know, the fact that he's part of the ruling cabal in that sense that you think should, you know, leave the political scene? In terms of competence and credibility, based on what he did while being the governor of Borno State, despite the whole insurgency, don't you think he's competent enough to be a running mate?
You want me to say yes?
No, I'm just asking. It's my duty to ask questions. You don't need to put words
into my mind. But what I've said, you know, we are opinion leaders.
Okay.
Before you bring in any guest and send the topic to him or her, the guest must make a research and sample opinion of the people. Before we come here, so that we will not be saying a different thing. So our people, the Nigerian people, are saying that this class of people that have dragged us to this mess, right? That have skeleton in their cupboards, that have one leg in Nigeria, one leg with other people, other areas, they are not supposed to come back. Again, the ruling class, the present ruling class, has misled this country. There has been nepotism, there have been tribalism, and what again? Religious bigotry. So we need to move this country. Look, I'm not worried about whether it's from whatever. But what we are saying that we need fresh hand.
Okay, Mazi, now you mentioned earlier, the Muslim ticket, that you mentioned something about not having the Christians at heart. But looking at it now, there have also been talks that it doesn't matter if it's Muslim or Christian.
Who said that? I'm just hearing from you.
No, of course, we've had people on this platform say that also. Even on social media, you have reactions, because of course not everybody would agree with you that they need fresh hands. Some people believe that they have been experienced on the job and they are capable of ruling this. Some people have also said that all they need is not to bring in religion, to infuse religion into politics. All they need is there are competent hands to move the country forward. Doesn't matter if it's Christians or Muslims. Well, they could be minority compared to what others are saying. But the fact that there's a part of Nigerians that are saying this thing. So about the Muslim tickets, you also mentioned competence. Let's assume this is not from the APC party. If it's from another party, would it really be a problem if it's a Muslim ticket or it's Muslim Christian ticket if it wasn't coming from the APC? That, of course, Nigerians already have an idea that they've not done so much or they've done so bad in their time of rulership.
Yeah, I remember some time ago here, the same question was asked to me, and I said, ordinarily it wouldn't have bothered me if they are Muslim or Christian. But the happenings now, Nigeria is a secular state. I will have to, and very fragile. We have to be sensitive in what we are doing. It means now that there is no trusted Christian in the north. Don't forget, even in the south here, the Muslims in the north don't believe much on the Muslims in the south here. They don't.
But is it about trusted Christian in the north or someone who can give you the numbers at the polls?
Let me tell you, in that Borno, in Chibok, there are Christians here.
Yes.
When you come to
Southern Kaduna.
Yes, no. I want to Chibok. There are Christians here, right? Then you go to Bauchi.
Oh, okay.
You have Christians here. Then you go to Yobe. You have Christians here. You go to, except in Sokoto, Sokoto State, I don't think whether they have some Christians there. So why is it that, look, if you don't want somebody to be accusing you, do that which is right. I agree with Tinubu that he wants competence and things like that, right?
And someone who gets the win.
Yes, but then their target is to win the election, right? Because of the number of the... You mentioned earlier that picking somebody from Borno State that has been ravaged with Boko Haram. The same Borno State and Yobe State, the two governors then asked for a postponement of the elections, yeah. Right? That they cannot guarantee it. Unfortunately, the same place turned out the highest numbers. Why was it voted? So what we are saying is this: apart from competence, you have to be very sensitive. When
you say highest numbers,
look, let me tell you. I think when we had from Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awolowo, Sadwana, and Tafawa Balewa, then you come to Ironsi, you come to Gowon, you come to
Murtala
Muhammad, then Obasanjo, Muslim Christian. It was during the time of Abiola. Nigeria of 1993 is no longer Nigeria this day. This present governor had destroyed Nigeria by nepotism and tribalism and religious bigotry. So if it 1993, everybody went and voted. Nobody considered that Abiola was a Muslim. Tufa was a Muslim, nobody considered that. Even during the time of Obasa, even Shagare, nobody knew whether there was Muslim. I was in Sokoto between 1975 to 1983. Like I said, I was the only Igbo man in the Bank of the North. In most of the branches I worked, nobody considered whether I was Igbo man. Everybody, you are given what happened. But this present government has made us to know that there is a distinction between an Igbo man, a Yoruba man, and a Hausa man. There's a difference between a Muslim and a Christian. We have never experienced it. So look at the appointment of this present government. If it's happening like that here now, okay, right? When we have, I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use uncomplimentary remarks on our vice president. Yes. Okay. Right. Like I said, now you love the right hand. Every vice is a spec. All right, so we want a balanced government. Assuming we have this Muslim or Christian, who will protect the interest? If it's in a working environment where we have a genuine constitution, where we have a working constitution, where your right is respected by me and my right is respected by you, everything will obey the rule of law, everything works, we won't bother. But here, the country has been destroyed by this ethnicity, religious, and the tribalism. Now, Martin, so we don't need Muslim or Christian. The Nigeria of 1993 and the Nigeria of 2022 are different, two sides of the coin now. Yeah. Almost, it's very, very different. Now, do you see this? The gap is more than even 1,000%. So now, do you even see it affecting the elections, especially with APC? You know, listening to those people from the convention, all I could hear was want to seize power, want to retain power. I could hardly hear the state of the Nigerian people, or for the Nigerian people what they want. So it was all about seizing power, retain power, which I know the principal goal of one of the principal goals of every party is to either seize power or retain power. So looking at it and other candidates, we have Atiku picking a Christian. We have the Labour Party, Peter Obi picking a Muslim, which is picking a Muslim, and APC is more like the only party that's having the Muslim ticket. So do you see it affecting their win, according to them, in the coming elections? It's going to be a tough. The Christians are not happy. But then they have they have Christians in the APC camp. So what's happening with the APC camp? Why didn't they could have I remember a lady from the north, she came a Christian, a northern Christian came and said she's capable, an APC woman leader. But then it wasn't even before now. It was rumored that he was going to pick the present governor, the present secretary of the federal, Mustafa, right? But they considered where the bulk vote will come, right? And there's this Dogara, Yakubu Dogara. Yes, former speaker, a Christian. It was rumored, but he also considered they don't consider Christians, people in the north as having the strength to move the crowd. Pull the number, exactly. That's the thing. That is it. And that's why they decided. But then, ordinarily, if I look, a good person is a good person. What is important is the arrowhead. What is important is not the deputy. Mazi. Right? So if see, let me tell you. Do you know that APC Muslim, PDP Muslim, New Nigerian National Party Muslim, right? It's only Labour that has a Christian as the president candidate. And this people, like Margaret said, all of them are saying we want to change this people away. This people say I want to sustain the good work our president is doing, the present government is doing. So none of them has even been able to say this is the problem of Nigeria, and this is how I'm going to tackle it. Except, of course, I don't want to mention the name. All of them say we must sustain power. We must continue from where we stop. But I will say let us team up. It's a gang up. That's what we're saying now. A gang up. Just like what happened in 2014, 2015, let us all gather together to chase Jonathan away. And that is what is happening. Let us gather together to chase Buhari away. without being properly harmonizing what we want to do. Nigerians say we are tired of this. We are tired of the old people that have been there. Look, Margaret and Samson, is that place meant for old people?
Well,
now, from governorship, they will now jump into Senate seat, right? Want to continue. Because when they saw their hand as governors, they would now jump where they will be part of the policymakers to protect themselves. Now, if actually Nigeria is working, are we saying that there are no younger people that we will not bring in? And these people that have been there, they don't want the younger ones to grow up.
Well, the younger ones need to fight for it. It's not going to come on a platter of gold.
Look, the environment, is it conducive for them?
Well,
where would they get 100 million?
They'll keep fighting till they can change
until the kingdom come. Well, so what I'm saying is this: if the country is well organized, right? If the country, the best constitution would have even liked was that of
1963.
Abacha.
Okay, Abacha. Okay, fine.
Abacha spread it out. Even rotation. Right?
Okay.
Even down to the local government. That would have even solved this problem of agitation and things like that.
Okay.
But then they don't want it. Not insisting that it must. You see, at times some of us that have seen many Christmas days, we sit back and say, what is actually happening with Nigerians? Right? From the north to west, from west to north. What about other areas? What about areas? Look at the statement Kwankwaso said. Speaking from two sides of the mouth. He said the best thing to happen to Igbo people is for them to be his vice, right? Right? Now, and he said, even if he picks Obi, that even he's not sure that the Muslims will vote for him, which means other people are no people; they are the only one, right? And he said the best thing, let him come, maybe after 8 years, he cannot go back. He cannot go back.
Mazi, let's look at this. Let's bring it back to the issue of running mate, Shetima and all. I know you've said that there are no Christians in the north. Again, it's all about who can command the numbers. The northwest has, the larger block of the votes from the northern parts of the country, beyond more than your northeast and your north central. Now, northwest is seemingly, in quote, a given for them. So hence, they need to get a deputy from, or a vice president, from the northwest.
Southwest or what?
Northwest. That where you have your Katsina, Zamfara State and the rest of them. Sokoto, yes. What I'm saying is there was the need to get, a running mate from the northeast so as to get, divided.
Why can't they pick a Christian from those areas?
That's the point. The Christians there can command the kind of numbers you want. For example, the former speaker, Daura,
is it the running mate? Or
Mazi, virtually important for elections.
What a presidential candidate has offered.
Mazi, we know quite well that for political parties, the principal goal is to seize power, to be in power, and that would mean to win elections. If you want to win elections, it's all about having more numbers than your opponents. Dogara, we know quite well, won't give you the kind of numbers in Northeast that a Shetima will give you. Simon Lalong, the governor of Plateau was State, yeah, also in the conversation, but he's also not as popular or will give you that number. Remember, Atiku, the Waziri of Adamawa, is from Northeast, so it was a strategy of breaking votes from that region to suit his side. So when you say that are there no Christians there, don't you think that this is simply on the basis of the political ground that they need to win more votes from that region?
Yeah, rather than I agree with you.
Exactly.
But what we are saying is this: if we are in a decent society, right?
Okay.
Where our vote counts, we will not mind whether you are from here or from here. Where you have a credible candidate who has a history of good performance, then we follow his antecedents. This is what he has achieved. This is what he has promised to do, and not what do you know Nigerians are not happy? Nigerians are being terribly unhappy, terribly mistreated by this present government, because all what they promise, politicians, whether it's from the north to, from the east to, from the south to, there's no truth in them. What they promise you, what they tell you in the morning is not the same thing we are going to tell you in the afternoon. I've said it all over. If you're a woman, your husband is a politician, be very careful how you trust him. So back to our discussion. Look, we are saying this is the right thing to be done. The right thing is that the older ones should give room for the young ones to grow.
All right,
it won't come on a platter of gold.
No. I know, I agree with you, but then where is the place of breeding up, training? They are not giving room for them to grow up, because you see them from councillorship to chairmanship to state house of assembly to governorship to the same people. Is this country, my question is this country meant for them alone? Those that have been there since 1999 are still there. Won't you like to grow? Okay, that's the point.
All right, Marty. Okay. Now, still talking politics, the Osun State elections are here, and the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, has deployed senior police officers for the July 16 governorship election in Osun State, promising tight security for the exercise. According to the force spokesman, adequate police personnel of the rank of Chief Superintendents of Police and below has equally been deployed for the election. Now, Mazi, let's look at, I was talking to someone about this particular elections. Even before you came onto the show, we were talking about it, and I was saying the elections, we saw what happened in Katsina State, well, the influx of police officers, of course, it happened to be the tight security, but then we saw some, voter party. But before we go into that, let's look at the deployment of police officers and the rank that has been deployed. So, do you foresee free or security tight elections before we go into the free and fair election part?
Yeah, let me confirm my statement when I was in the studio and one of the platforms during the election of
Ekiti State?
No, Edo State.
Edo State, okay.
I condemn completely the massive deployment of about 300 policemen and things like that. But that was about 2 years ago, three years ago, yeah. But then, the situation we are now calls for adequate protection, adequate security. But my worry is this: would they still do what they are supposed to do, or were they deployed, or are they deployed to snag ballot papers, to write results, to help chase the opponents? If they are sent there to protect life and properties, to make sure that things work accordingly, that's no problem. But our experience has not been a good teacher to us. Experience has shown that even the security personnel go there to help rig the election. I don't know whether you understand where I'm going. So I don't see the deployment of this being helpful. Though security-wise it is important, but would they go there? Well, I mean, Osun State, it happened like that when even there were reports that even policemen were carrying the ballot, result sheets, writing it for other political parties. So Nigeria is a terrible and horrible place. So deployment of policemen, we don't know how many numbers they are going to deploy. And Ekiti, we saw what happened. There has been allegations and accusations of police security involvement in the election. So it's wrong. We are not in a war zone. Election is something you have to go up freely to elect your leaders. I want to see a situation, McGee and Samson, where a day of election, you walk down from your studio here, you walk down, go and cast a vote and come back. It's just going out to choose your leader, right? But unfortunately, it becomes a market. It becomes war. So the governors will send talks, the other people will send talks, even the voters themselves become afraid. Some of them, you talked about voters apathy. That is one of the reasons, right? 2 reasons: insecurity and our vote doesn't count. So these are the things that contribute to voters apathy. But me, if there is reason for deployment of police force or security force to make sure that there is law and order, there's no problem. But Nigerians are saying our experience has been bitter. When you say security is there, they are posted to help 1 or 2 parties to win the election. which is wrong.
You talked about, voter apathy being as a result of insecurity and the stereotypical notion that votes do not count. Don't you think the Electoral Act 2022 is a way of, maybe curbing or at least, washing off that notion that, votes won't count? For example, the clause that has to do with electronic transmission of results,
yeah.
It's to instill a bit of trust and confidence in the electoral process.
Yeah, it would have been a good thing if talk is not cheap. Talk is cheap, but let us see the Electoral Act work. It's something. It's not man. Man made it. Let us see the workability. That's the most important thing. You may have good ideas. Execution is important. So voters' apathy has been there because Nigerians have lost interest on INEC. But we want to believe that what they did in Anambra, also they did first in Edo. That one I knew about that. Anambra, nobody expected Anambra to be well as it was. So what they did in Edo, Anambra, and Ekiti, let us see it being repeated in Osun. Yes.
All right, Mazi, sorry, okay. I just want to take you up on the policeman that has been deployed to Osun State. We saw what happened in Ekiti State. I like to make reference to it because I feel like that election is a prototype, maybe for lack of better words, of what our 2023 elections would be like. Because one of the leading stations had a live report in Ekiti State. In short, a lot of leading stations in Nigeria had a live report, and we had them. One of the things that was prominent that they were saying was the fact that even with the police officers, we saw footages of the police officers seated right there. The FCC visited prior to the election before it started. And then with the presence of the police officers, we still saw the buying and selling of votes from these parties. Now, this APC will come and say, no, it's PDP. PDP will say, no, it's SDP. And it went back and forth. And these police officers were there. Well, these are supposed to be law enforcement agencies. Aside police officers, we had other security outfits right there in the election ground. And then this happened. So what then? The question is, what then is the need? Aside maintaining law and order, as law enforcement agencies, buying of vote is already a crime in itself. Are they not supposed to enforce this thing? So I'm looking at the Ekiti elections, and I'm really praying in my heart that it doesn't repeat or replicate itself in Osun State. But then how sure can we be? It's
going to be replicated.
Okay.
Because it has become the order of the day. Right? You are talking about Osun State election coming by this weekend.
On Saturday, yeah.
Right? You're talking about money being shared, vote buying, maybe 2,000, 5,000. You've forgotten what happened during the primaries, where thousands of dollars were shared to people to buy your conscience. The same people, excuse me, the same people that want to rule us, the same people that want to deliver us from poverty, the same people that want to give good education, are they not the same people using money to buy delegates to elect them? The same people, right? We are talking about where there is problem, where people don't have moral value, right? Where people are morally bankrupt. That is what you see. You are right by saying policemen, security men were there. Not only policemen, no, let us not cascade them,
yes.
Right? The soldiers.
That's why I said different security outfits.
Yes, they were there, sharing money, and they look because their hands have been greased, right? So they've collected their own, and they do the other way.
Okay, Mazi.
Right, even during the primaries, there are people who said they even prefer to be delegate than being a candidate.
And the EFCC visited parts.
The EFCC was there.
Yes,
right?
Even in the candidate convention.
Have you ever heard that so and so persons were arrested for vote buying or receiving? No, the law says receiving, giving and receiving, right? The law is meant for paper. It's academic. Okay. Not realities.
Okay.
So we want to see it. So we cannot rule out vote buying. We cannot rule out that what happened in Ekiti will not be replicated in Osun because it has been the order of the day.
Okay. Okay, Mazi, we'll just go on a very short break. We'll definitely continue this conversation regarding the upcoming Osun State elections this Saturday. We'll be right back.